And we also we say one thing we're grateful for. So one day like Tycho's like, I'm not grateful for anything. He had a bad day, and I was like, not even for the hot shower you just took. Cause like some
your Asian dad, dude.
Some motherfuckers, they gotta take cold showers.
Yeah,
and
he's like, Spider-Man rash guard.
yeah.
Okay, we have a question from one of our rare Hmong followers. Woo! Hey, Nick Jong.
Hey, you know something real quick about, like, you know how we did the news about the Hmong comedian that got, like, lured and killed and stuff?
Toujours.
You know how small the Hmong community is? So my buddy, him and his wife, had that comedian host and MC his wedding.
No way.
Whoa!
I mean, he is a pretty popular figure, isn't he? And
the story was big too.
Yeah, they caught the people too. The suspects are in custody now.
Good.
But then who knows? We're gonna wait and see if they get bought their freedom, because it's, you know, it sucks. But Nick Zhang, one of our Hmong viewers, he asked, what do I do in a marriage where two people have different religious beliefs?
Why'd you get married in the first place, dumb?
Start with that. You lead with that first.
Now that you're feeling real good. Can he make it?
He's already in the marriage.
I believe he is.
That is crazy.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
That's a huge conversation you gotta have before getting.
That's a serious thing, yeah.
But what if love just like...
I dated a girl where her mother was Catholic and her father was Muslim, or the other way around.
How did they make it work?
I just think, like, whoever's more devout.
Oh.
Or how open you are.
That's kind of how we are.
Do you think it becomes a competition at a point on like which one's going to be the prevalent thing in the household?
Yeah. And then which religion is your kid going to have?
I don't know. To me, it just seemed like they were religious by like culture and ceremony, not by like crazy devotion. You know?
Yeah.
Like, you know, like a lot of Asians say they're Buddhist, but they ain't. They just go to the fucking temple to like play during New Year's.
If you're Buddhist, Buddhists don't go to the club.
Yeah.
And pop bottles.
Yeah.
I'm Christian and my wife's Catholic, but
What's the secret?
Mary.
For me, I feel like they're so similar. We don't really have conflicting beliefs, but they are kind of. We both believe in Jesus, so it's kind of. It's not like I believe in somebody else.
What are their religions?
I don't know. But if he's Hmong,
That will be cutting chicken heads off and fucking draining out the blood and fucking dancing around incense, dude.
I guess if there's any, there are examples out there of like couples who are married that are completely different religions, but it is true, depending on how hardcore they are. Like if they're kind of more lukewarm, then it probably doesn't create a conflict, but eventually it is something that you have to talk about when you have kids, right?
Yeah, like I'm raised Buddhist and like pretty crazy Buddhist. I used to go to with my mom to like those like be a monk for a day retreats or be a monk for a week retreats, and I'm like 8 years old and you take a vow of silence for 14 days, like shit like that.
You did that?
Yeah, I did that shit. Yeah, I did that shit with my mom. And my mom's been vegetarian since for like I don't know like 25 years. So of like my whole upbringing, I had vegetarian meals at home. So I lived a pretty crazy like Buddhist life, I would say. And then Gio's Catholic, but I think what's most important for both of us is some sort of spirituality. So right now we started adopting this thing with Taika where we pray every night. But really what it is when we pray, it's just a way for, because you know obviously like you try to do better than the next generation to provide and give them what you didn't have. But then the backside to that is you raise fucking pussy ass fucks. And like fucking like entitled motherfuckers. So we don't want to do that. So we're kind of using the prayer as a way to like, it's more of going around when we pray of one, you can't be selfish. You can't be, oh dear God, please give me that fucking toy.
Yeah, all right.
You can't be that. So we pray for other people. Like we prayed for Tiff. We're like, one of our friends, like you know, she's going through Operation Hope. So we pray for other people, and we also,
cry, dude. Fuck you.
And we also we say one thing we're grateful for. So one day like Tycho's like, I'm not grateful for anything. He had a bad day, and I was like, not even for the hot shower you just took. Cause like some
your Asian dad, dude.
Some motherfuckers they gotta take cold showers.
Yeah,
and
he's like, Spider-Man rash guard.
yeah. I'm like, there's something you're grateful for. So I think the like distilling it is more about like what is spirituality, and it can come in many forms. That's kind of what we're teaching him. So we don't know if he's gonna get baptized or take him to all the Buddhist festivities or anything like that, but just kind of having some sort of spirituality in the world's greater than you type of
Cool. Well, that's better that you're not trying to gravitate him towards one or the other of like religious sect.
That'd be fun if you guys had a competition to see who could make.
Who's got a better God?
Yeah,
Who's got us better?
I think that's what he should do. Is like now that you're in this marriage, it's locked in.
Arm wrestle for it.
Whoever wins the arm wrestle or a coin toss, that's the religion you choose.
Because that's the God who came through for that coin toss.
Yup.
Oh, let him intervene.
Those are pretty different in like wildly like the ways are like let's say that you were Christian and then you were Muslim, like when something good happens and your kid is like thanking like do I thank God or Allah?
I think they both have the same God too.
They're technically both the same God.
You guys,
Oh wait, careful.
Allah means God in like old Arabic or whatever.
yeah, but is it the same guy though?
Isn't it the same? They got the same homies. Like Jesus got the same homies.
I think Jesus was actually saying Allah because of the language that he was speaking.
I thought Jesus was in the Quran too.
He's acknowledged, but he's not a god.
He's not the Well, they're all Abrahamic religions, meaning like they all in that Middle East era.
Judaism,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
But they all battling
in
though.
his like Hebrew language and stuff. He was saying like technically Allah too, right?
Yeah, I mean, I take it like another industry. Everybody knows each other, but everybody's doing their own thing.
Yeah.
I think it's like it's like they're all Spider-Man, just played by different people.
Tobey Maguire.
Same multiverse.
They're all Spider-Man.
Marvel has made us understand life so much better.
That's a great way.
They're more related, but they beef the hardest. Cause like they don't give a fuck about a Hindu. They're like, I don't care about them, but I hates me some fucking Jewish or whatever, you know, like.
Like, they'll see like
That's so
elephant
true.
face, and they're like, I don't care about elephants.
That's not us. That's so true. Yeah.
They'll be like, they're fucking damned anyway. And then they care more about like Protestants and Christians have a age-old fucking rivalry, dude. Like they went to wars over that shit, you know? So like then they're the closest. Same with the Shia and Sunni Muslims. They're Muslims, but they fucking fight the hardest, you know?
They really fight.
Hopefully he's not one of those. Imagine.
This is a very broad question.
Jason once.
He's like watching and going, yeah, I am. I'm Shiite. She's
I have seen in more
It's like you guys know me.
in more examples, like even if there's like a difference in religion in like the couple, if they can live together, it's not as big a question as whether or not they're choosing to raise their child in a certain religion. You know what I mean? So they can coexist and cohabitat, if you will, but it's always just about like, what are you gonna do for your children? That becomes like the question of what religion is more important. You know?
Like for me and Tiff, like Tiff is Catholic, and I'm kind of like, I don't know.
Scientologist.
Yes. Yeah, sign me up for that. Mark me down.
He's a Scientologist.
Yeah, dude, that's my guy right there.
Yeah, she's Catholic. You're clear.
I've spent time on L. Ron Hubbard Road. I know where that's at. You know what I'm talking about? But like we never really talk about religion that much because she's like more culturally like religious, right? But she was like the only like it's a make believe argument because we don't have a kid, right? But she goes,
First time I've heard you say that.
yeah.
Let's pretend this cup is a baby, our baby. Would you want it to be Catholic?
Would you want it to be and I throw it on the ground and I start fresh. No, but like she was like, I want our baby to get baptized, and I was like, for what? We don't even go to church. So like that was like the only argument we've had where I'm like, we don't go to church. Like, what's the point of? I'm ignorant. I'm a fucking. I don't know anything.
Is
about
it more for her family? Because sometimes people do that.
Kinda, but at the same time, I asked her. I was like, "What's the main reason why we're gonna get this baby baptized?" And she's like, "You
To be
know,
safe.
it's like, yeah, to be safe and like just in case." And I was like, "Oh God!" And I was like,
Just in case what?
That's kind of funny. In case the Catholic
"They go to hell, dude." Yeah.
You know what the trick is?
What?
As soon as she goes, you be Tiff and ask
Okay.
me.
Do you think we should get our baby baptized?
Oh yeah, for sure. The trick is, chicks are so fucking lazy. You give it to them, it'll never happen.
Holy
They're so fucking lazy, dude.
Don't even fight it, dude.
If you fight it, it'll become a thing.
Yeah, and I
Oh, yeah,
did
for sure.
And then they'll prove you wrong.
the whole time. And oh my God, I'm an idiot. The whole time I was like, what's the point?
Gio wanted to get Taika baptized in communion, whatever. Oh yeah, for sure, let's do it. And then what? 6 years later, hasn't happened.
He has a real kid. That's why. I have 2 dogs.
That's a good hack. All right.
If you fight it, it becomes a thing. Just don't fight it.
Now she has to prove you wrong, because women live their lives to prove you wrong.
I'll go home today unannounced and be like, "Hey, babe, if we have a baby, I think we should get it baptized."
No. It has to be from her. It has to be from her.
Yeah, because it's gonna happen. That's gonna happen.
Now it's like, oh, that's a great idea. I'm gonna be a supportive wife.
You can't have the idea.
Unless you go home and be like, hey, if we have a kid, I think Scientology should be a conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, what about my religion? So if I bring it up and I say yes, I have to try not to laugh and like give it away.
You're gonna give it away. You're gonna give it away.
Did he give?
Try to be underwater.
Your ears are gonna turn red.
Did he give any specific reasons why, like, there have been issues or anything like that?
Probably just chopping off chicken heads and fucking dancing around incense, right?
I think it's funny because like growing up Seventh-day Adventist, like we were told straight up it would never work with any other religion.
Yep. They were like, we're the fucking chosen ones. Everyone else is wrong.
Because the idea is that why would you invest in a relationship with somebody that you know is going to go to hell?
Yeah.
And because like, oh, this isn't the end all game. Like you have to find a partner that will transcend into heaven with you. Like,
And we called them Sunday worshipers. You remember that? They're Sunday worshipers.
That's like the derogatory term.
They're like lame and shit. They're not really about that life.
that's the Seventh-day Adventist N word.
We keep the real Sabbath.
Yeah.
But the thing for SDA is like lifestyle wise, it's pretty hardcore. So if you're not really a SDA and you
Well, the
marry
funny
someone-
thing is, it's just like you were saying. It's like find me an SDA person that's really following all of the
really?
guidelines.
Oh, so they're kind of faking the funk too.
No, they just make up their own rules too. They'll be like, I'm even more SDA than you because like I'm super vegetarian.
My vanilla ice cream didn't have sugar in it. Like, who cares? But then, there's a thing
not
where
ice
like,
cream, by the way.
there's a thing where like, I distinctly remember seeing these like paintings of like in my textbook of like, it'll be like a father holding the kids and he's like transcending to heaven and the mom's just down there like trying to last minute be saved, but she couldn't
Because she was a slut.
because she was a slutty Catholic.
Yeah.
Or Sunday worship.
Yeah, Sunday worshiper.
But it's like a thing where that was always put in my mind that there's no shot, not even.
Hey, we could have been friends though.
Yeah.
So that would have, yeah.
That's okay. That's acceptable.
But it's so weird.
Gays
that, like,
okay in SDA?
Probably now. It's changed a lot.
I'm sure, yeah, now because the church population is probably so desperate.
I think a lot of churches in general had to loosen up because they're like, their recruitment's slow, you know?
People stop coming.
Church, the gates of heaven could loosen up because recruitment was low.
It's true. Man.
That's why I think religion is bullshit because they're changing the rules all the
They're
time.
always changing the rules.
Yeah, like come on, bro.
What's going on right now?
I think that's why if you just look at all these different religions as team sports, like Muslims are crushing it right now.
Yeah, they're top dog. Worldwide? Worldwide?
the way that he said it.
They're ranked number 1. They
They're growing. They're growing.
have the biggest population yet.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about converting and being a
Dude, they're growing because they're serious about their shit, dude. They'll be like,
Yeah, they don't really bend the
they'll
rules.
fuck you up.
That's true, man.
But you guys gotta. Do you guys know some Muslim homies that like are Muslim but like don't really do the?
All of them, dude.
basically,
everybody.
Yeah, and
They're so not halal.
In America, yeah, for
Fucking
sure.
bacon loving.
They're haramming every day.
they're hooking up with hella girls and shit. Yeah.
There's nobody that's
gambling.
truly following what they're supposed to do in the religion because they would be the God. That God, everybody's God is perfect.
I was offered pussy during Ramadan, dude.
What religion you're?
I think Habib is the only true Muslim, brother.
Him and his boys.
Yeah. Habib.
Yeah.
Khabib, yeah.
Yeah. He don't even shake women's hands. There's a highlight reel on the internet of like women like trying to shake his hand, and he's like he has to whisper in their ear and be like, "I'm sorry, I can't touch you. I'm Muslim."
You can't imagine him never having one impure thought like, hey, she's got a big butt.
Nope, he would never, dude. He would never.
he would shock himself before that happens.
His little ears tells him he sees a girl's big butt.
His eyes start twitching.
Don't think.
You know another one that's kind of crushing it right now?
Who?
Mormons. They just keep winning, dude.
So do you think a Mormon and a Muslim could just take over the world if they fused their religions?
I don't know if they just population-wise, Mormons aren't as big as, you know, Muslims. Muslims are pretty. There's a lot.
But they both like hella wives too, right? So they got that in
see,
common.
They population strong. They keep
Not enough women in the world.
Mormons, they keep, you know, the white pure.
Who has a lower scandal rate though?
Mormons.
Lower?
I think so.
Just by numbers.
Not if they're
yeah,
cool
yeah.
with soaking though, you know what I mean?
Oh,
Once
yeah,
you put
yeah,
soaking
yeah.
in there, we're good.
I think Mormons are like the weird brothers of Christians, but then they stay so low key. that everyone's just like, they're like...
They're just super
leave 'em
hardcore
alone.
Christians.
Yeah. The Amish too. I mean, is it the Amish? Everyone thinks they're just they're a joke, but they're the ones that's gonna survive the fucking anything.
Are there Mormon terrorists?
Nah. Oh yeah.
That's a good question.
They may terrorize you with their religion, but like, believe in us, believe in us. Hey, God, here's this book.
Yeah.
Can we show up to your door?
Orthodox Jews, they don't go back on their shit.
Orthodox anybody technically doesn't mess around.
That's true. Yeah, you're right.
I had a Mormon girlfriend in middle school, and she was like one of the hottest girls in school, and it was such a flex for me because I was like 4'9", and I was shorter than everybody. So I was like holding hands with this like hot Mormon chick, and then her and her sister were hot.
They'd probably be down for you. It's in their religion. Marry both of them.
What ethnicity was she?
I don't even know.
Wow, ambiguous. And Mormon.
Even ask.
Like that? You don't know what the fuck she is?
Yeah, what the fuck is just
You were dating her and you never asked?
My conversations weren't that deep in like 7th grade. It was like holding hands and making out.
Hell yeah.
That's all you need.
Looks.
I guess it almost seems like when you look at this from the point of view of inside of these religions, it's like no shot. But then if you look at it in terms of life, if you're not super hardcore, any two religions could happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're not hardcore, right?
But I think it is what Anthony said. Like, it really comes down to like when you have a kid. That's probably the biggest like point of contention, right?
But if your religion allows like multiple, like Japan, you can be Shinto, Buddhist, and Christian, or you could be all those things at once.
Trifecta.
Yeah, it's kind of like
Oh, yeah, that is
like when Christianity came to Japan, they'll be like, yeah, like we could take on your god. They could kind of sit with our gods. That's cool. And then it's just everybody come together.
Wasn't there a lot of friction at one point too, though?
Yeah, they got hanged.
But like after that,
Less than 1% of Japanese is Christian, but yeah, you're right.
Okay. Yeah.
It almost seems like for Nick Jong, if he's Hmong, that's probably more important than what religion his partner is. As long as they're also Hmong, that's probably better.
Hmong is the one where they have all these like gatherings and everybody fights each
Yeah,
other.
they fight they have like yearly fights.
Like they like the New Year traditional fight.
Oh yeah, that happened this year again.
It's pretty dependable that it's gonna occur.
I think it also depends on how much empathy they have. You know how like there's the actual like religion, but there's also like religions that people like their own personal like religion almost like, oh, I don't like oysters, you know, and that's how I've always lived. But then so if you take that into consideration, if there are like things that are like hell no's and hell yeses in each other, but if you've come to accept that, then you can accept the hell no's and hell yeses of the other part.
There's way more similarities for religions, right? Like it's really just general conduct on how to behave in the world. And it's like, I don't know any religion that goes, you should fucking kill everybody on sight. All of them says don't fucking kill people.
Yeah.
All of them says don't be a jackass, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jackass, the word is translated.
So what happens in the case? How about this case? One of them is a devout Christian. The other is completely atheist. How do they make that work?
Well, they made it work when they fucked.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, they're not that developed.
Yeah.
And it's also one of those things where it's like before marriage, every couple needs to have the what religion are we going to raise our children conversation, because then you're going to kill two birds with one stone right there. You're going to talk about the religion and you're going to talk about the children. Yeah. So if they're like, we're not going to have children, that's a whole thing you need to talk about before marriage.
And be open to change to that.
Yeah.
Because if you guys are 25 having that discussion, you guys are fucking dumb as fuck anyways.
Yeah.
By the time you're
That's so
35, you're gonna
true.
change the policy. Like, don't be glued to shit that you thought of as kids, you know?
That's so true.
Yeah.
Because then at that point, once you're married and you're locked in, it's like, okay, do we want to make this work or do we not want to make this work?
Yeah, like we're 60.
But we promised her we're 23.
Like, what the fuck?
Was there anything that you forgot to talk about with Tiff before marriage?
Scientology.
And then you were like, oh shit. This would be so much.
Not really. Like a lot of it is like on the fly. It's on the go. It's like when these conversations come up, it's like we handle it or we keep fighting about it until we handle it. You know, like that's how we kind
That's
of
actually pretty healthy, though.
Like
yeah.
it was just like, all right, well, are we gonna break up because you're fucking Catholic and I'm Scientologist? Like, are we? Is this gonna be a thing?
Break up over religion.
Your idea of who you are changes over the years, right? And how you view your religion and how you practice and how you do all that stuff. Like, you might be devout at like a 25-year-old and you think you understand, you follow all the, all what you believe the structure is. But really, this is a game sport. Again, like your church might operate completely different from another church. and so we don't really know the specifics to their like religions and all that stuff and how rigid they are. So it's like, I don't see why it would be difficult. At the same time, I can see why it would be tremendously difficult. Yeah. We just don't know enough detail.
This is very broad.
I like your thing of you just gotta fight until it works out.
Argue every day.
Argue with love, though.
Yeah, empathy.
Yeah.
Like,
All right, Nick Jong, you heard it. Argue with love for your situation. Let us know how it goes.
A little physicality.
Don't be afraid to get in there.
Punch.
Like a punch, a little slap and tickle.
Don't be afraid.
yeah, slap and tickle's good.
Throw a couple non-lethal rights and lefts.
Yeah, to the legs is fine.
Yeah,
Yeah, not the jaw.
With a kiss to the forehead,
Armpits,
right?
armpits and the legs, and the thighs.
good luck,
The
man.
naturally dark areas.
Bye.
Just make sure she's small.